All right, guys. Well, welcome back to one of our first YouTube lives we've done in, I don't know, 6 months probably.
Really long time.
It's probably been a minute. So
Yep.
please let us know if you guys can hear us okay, because we haven't done this in a while. So
We're
I want to make
one
sure.
mic and
Let me just make sure the audio is on correctly. Yep. Okay, I think we should be good. Okay, so we're going to try to do this more consistently. I know we've said this before, and yet we do not do it on a regular basis. So our plan going forward is we're going to try to do this every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, just talking about what's going on in San Diego from the real estate market, new developments, new restaurants. We also have something new to share if you guys have not seen already. We have, well, first of all, before we get into all that, please let me know that you guys can hear us okay if anybody is tuning in. So we have a couple of people tuning in. So let us know if you can hear us in the comments, and then we'll get into some of the new stuff that's going on here with the Office 56 home team.
that's right.
And also let us know where you're tuning in from, if you're local here in San Diego or somewhere throughout the country or the world.
Right.
You know, we have a lot of international viewers.
Hey,
people like to enjoy
we're a big deal.
our company
internationally.
Here.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, it's hard to keep up with this. It's hard to keep up with it all the time because you can't always create news. Sometimes there's news to talk about, and sometimes things have kind of stayed the same.
Yep.
So just take some time to dig up stories and dig up the information that people would actually want to know about.
And please let us know what you guys want to hear more about. Do you guys want to hear about stuff going on locally here in San Diego, or just the housing market, or a little bit of both? Because that's kind of what we do. We kind of cover.
I hope it's a little bit of both.
Yes.
Because just talking about the housing market
can get a little bit boring.
Is not as fun when it's just numbers and statistics and percentages, and it's not always as fun.
Correct.
I do like to talk about the new developments here, the new restaurants, all that. There's exciting
coffee shops,
stuff. Coffee. You love to talk about coffee shops. I mean, there's definitely a lot of stuff happening.
Okay, without further ado, we're going to get into a little bit about what's going on. First of all, we're going to talk about what's new with us. So we have a new, let's see how I do this, a new Instagram page. Let's see if I can find it on here. Does that come up there?
Yep, there you go.
There it goes. Okay. So we have a new Instagram that we started maybe, I don't know, 4 months ago or so.
Not long.
And we're basically posting everything new that's going on in San Diego, whether it's new developments, like I said, coffee shops, restaurants, things closing, opening, basically anything related to San Diego. So I know our YouTube channel is mostly, if you're moving to or like thinking about moving here, real estate related. This one will be more local things going on in San Diego, as well as new developments.
I love it. It's like a good crossover. You can use our YouTube channel to help you move here or sell your home here or whatever, and then you can use our Instagram page to keep you up to date once you live here.
So that's kind of the goal of this too. I'll occasionally put them on YouTube as well. But if you want to find us on Instagram, it's called North County _SD.
Yes.
So check that out, as we are posting lots of videos on there, probably 5 a week or so.
Almost every day. And just be aware, even though the handle is North County, we do talk about more than North County. It's hard not to talk about downtown San Diego, or
if it's big enough news, you'll hear about it.
That's right.
On our
that's
Instagram,
right. But people do like to remind us that's not North County.
Yes, they do. And people like to be very opinionated about what they like and don't like.
There's a lot of opinions. The Instagram has been so entertaining, I feel like.
So, and what we're going to do on the YouTube lives is kind of talk about what we talked about in the last week on our Instagram for the most part, as well as what's going on in the real estate market too.
Yes.
So,
and
if you guys ever wanted us to cover something that we don't know about, please feel free to DM us on Instagram. So we'd be happy to cover it for you. We're not doing any, we're not doing any like paid advertising or anything like that, but if it's something we think the viewers will get, be a fan of.
You're right. You know what? One of our lovely neighbors, she reminded me that there is this super cool bakery, and we ended up doing a little reel on the bakery down in Kearny Mesa, where they make some of the birthday cakes for some of your favorite Padres players. And so we did a reel about that Flower Atelier.
And we're just hidden gems, like you just did a Caroline's Cafe over in La Jolla one. That was pretty good. So
a lot of these places are hidden gems, I think. But I mean, right?
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they're popular, but they're not.
Not everyone. Not everyone knows.
Everybody knows about.
Yes, my wife didn't actually know about Caroline's Cafe.
Oh yeah.
Well, she had heard about it, but she had never been to it. So.
It's really pretty there.
So follow us on Instagram if you're interested, because we'll be posting stuff on there almost daily for the most part. Anything San Diego related.
And we respond to the comments on those.
The nice comments.
The nice comments.
Because we get some nasty comments on there sometimes, at least with amongst other viewers.
Right. So. I try to stay out of the
yes.
infighting on there, but there's, the comments get a little bit heated.
So that's the general gist of our YouTube lives going forward. I think we're going to do noon on Wednesdays, but if there's a better time that our audience seems to be more lively at, maybe we'll shift. But for now, 12 o'clock Wednesdays, that's what we're going to do going forward. Okay.
Let's dive right in.
So that's our Instagram. So this video, we kind of said what's new for 2025 or what's upcoming, that sort of thing. So we're going to get into a little bit of that. First thing I want to talk about is the Gaylord Pacific Hotel, which is down in Chula Vista.
Yes.
Could be the nicest resort hotel in San Diego.
And it is a resort. Now, I mean, it is called a hotel, but it is like a resort.
Resort and convention center too.
So. Acres and acres spanning there.
It does not open until end of June, but they just started doing bookings for July now. So I think on their website it was starting about $550 per night.
$550, and then I saw weekends looked like it was up into the 600s.
Yes.
I'm not positive what types of rooms those are, but that is not inexpensive, I would say.
No, it's not the cheapest hotel.
On that,
but
right?
for a resort hotel here, like if you compare it to like Hotel Del,
sure,
or the Omni,
sure. Hotel Del, you definitely.
Hotel Del's probably like $700 a night sometimes.
Yeah, so. and the Omni, like you said, or you mean in
Carlsbad.
In Carlsbad, yeah.
Or any of those Mission Bay resort hotels.
Sure,
so.
yeah.
But it's got like water slides. I think it's got a lazy river going around it. So it could be a good spot for like if you want a staycation here in San Diego, or you're visiting San Diego for the first time.
Yeah.
And then another hotel-related thing that we just did a reel on this one is you want to share what I can't even say it, Alila Marea.
Yeah. Alila Marea, that is the beautiful contemporary cliffside hotel in Encinitas, Lucadia sort of border there. They have decided to go entirely adult only. No one under 18 allowed to stay at that resort, at that hotel. And I kind of understand. I read people's comments. They did say they will still allow children, I believe, at the restaurant there.
Okay.
But just not as overnight guests. I think probably the pool was a big issue. They've got it's not a smaller pool, but it's not a pool like they're going to have at the Gaylord with this is a very mature pool, I feel like.
And from the comments I read about when you posted this video, most people said it was not very kid friendly in general at all.
At all. Yeah, exactly.
So and they even
and for
told
the prices
people
there,
you should go to the Hyatt or the
right across the freeway, right on the other side, on the east side of the freeway. They have that huge. I mean, the Omni La Costa is like a beautiful, very family friendly resort, right? So that's a kind of a big deal. And I don't really know of any other adult only places.
As far as I know, I think it's the only one that's adult only in San Diego, but I could be wrong.
Keep that in mind if you're looking for an adult only.
Yeah, like an anniversary trip if you're in San Diego or something like that. Or maybe you don't want to see a ton of kids.
Party thing, or your or Valentine's night away with your significant other. Like you might not want to hear like shrieking children at the pool at 8 a.m.
I wouldn't be opposed to that sometimes.
No. Not the shrieking children. You wouldn't be opposed to getting away from the shrieking children. Yeah, me too.
Okay. All right. What else we got here?
So that's our hotel news.
That is our hotel. A lot of hotel news here for what's this one? Oh, this is if you anyone that lives in Escondido area, there's over in Harmony Grove area, they are proposing I think another 400 or so homes to Harmony Grove area, but the big issue with that is that people aren't super opposed to like more housing. I think a lot of people are.
Right.
But there is only one way in, one way out of this particular part of Harmony Grove. That scares me. And they said it could take up to 7 hours to evacuate everyone out of that area if there was a potential fire. And obviously fires are big topics these days here in San Diego.
Exactly.
So they're trying to find solutions to that going forward. Sorry, there's a video playing here. So if anybody that lives in that Harmony Grove, I know some people that live up there. We've sold houses in Harmony Grove before. Absolutely. So I'm hoping the developer will work with the people there to find alternate routes out of Harmony Grove, just because obviously fires are a big topic of conversation right now.
Can you explain to me, or do you know, like what's the holdup with just building more roadways?
So they found I was reading this article. They said there was another way for them to get in and out of it, but I guess that someone owns that piece of land. They would have to go through it, and I guess that whoever owned that did not want to allow it. So they proposed widening like a bridge over there to make it like another lane, so people could get more cars out,
more
like
volume,
double the amount of cars, basically.
Right? Yeah.
But I guess they're saying that's not enough to.
Wow, I would think there's got to be a price.
Yeah.
That somebody would. Those people might accept if
they
own the land.
You would think so, but maybe the price is like ridiculous amounts. So, but I always feel like there is two ways out of Harmony Grove, but maybe it's this certain section. There's only one way out of it. Yeah, because you can go from the 15 side, and then there's the side from the 78 side. So
those are both like little 2-lane roads.
Yeah, they're not.
Really.
They're not wide,
a big right. You're not hopping right on the freeway.
But I feel like there are at least two ways. But I guess if there's a fire over there, it could cover the whole area. So So if you live in the Harmony Grove or Escondido area,
and that's sort of controversial, and people have a lot of opinions on that. But again, I think Harmony Grove is a nice neighborhood. Is Harmony Grove? Are they the school tax? They don't have.
No, they have Melrose.
They do have.
Yeah,
Melrose.
it's quite a bit.
Remember. Okay.
I think it's quite a bit.
It is.
I
couldn't remember. Sometimes there's little pockets where you're like, oh, I'm so surprised that doesn't have Melrose. But
that one definitely does. I think was it Canopy Grove that did not have? I forget.
Okay.
But one of them doesn't. But that one definitely has a Melrose to it. Okay. So. Okay, what else do we got here to talk about? If you guys have any questions, feel free to. I see a few people on here, so if you have any questions for us or anything about San Diego or what's going on in San Diego, let us know in the comments.
I think you want to talk about the new community up in San Marcos.
Oh, yes. Okay, we'll pop up with that one. Okay, so the Hill District at North City. This is up in San Marcos, kind of right off of I always call Twin Trails because that's over here. Twin Oaks Valley Road.
Is that what it is?
Twin Oaks Valley Road, right off the 78 freeway. There's actually a little mini down, which I had heard about this, but I hadn't really been through it until like the last 6 months or so. Yeah. So there's right where that Draft Republic bowling alley is. They have a little mini. It's only like 2 roads probably, but they're extending it all the way to Twin Oaks Valley Road. So a lot of construction going up there. And then on the other side of Twin Oaks Valley Road is like the west side of it. They are building a new community called the Hill District, which is going to be built by Lennar and Shea Homes together. They don't have a lot of pricing on here. I did a reel on this recently, and actually the vice president of Shea Homes told me to take it down.
Really?
Yes. And I'm like, why? She said you're being deceptive on the pricing. I'm like, well, you guys don't have pricing on there, so I was like, we were estimating what prices will go for. And now Lennar has pricing on there, which actually accurately reflects what I reported in the video.
Wow. So, interesting.
So if you go this video here,
so
these are the communities. So there's 6 different communities: 259, Revel, Element, Amplitude.
So obviously you're going to have some single family homes. You're going to have condos. You're going to have what looks to be almost like a duplex.
Yeah, even
like
the single family homes are like those 3-story single family homes that we're seeing everywhere now.
City style, townhome style. I found it very interesting. They were talking about the different elevation styles, which is like the exterior of your home. And I'm sure it's like these hot button words. It's like modern farmhouse. They had modern coastal, contemporary, modern prairie. I don't know if that's a new take on modern farmhouse. And then ballpark. Ballpark, y'all. What is that?
What is ballpark?
That's one of the elevation styles, like on the exterior of your house.
Is it one of these?
Ballpark was one of the options, and I thought, I don't know that I have. Like look at Apex, like the single family homes. Yeah, I believe so.
This looks like
I'm not sure what that one is, but that was the they said ranging from 2,400 square feet to 2,500 square feet. And those were the different styles. And I just thought that was interesting. Somebody let me know what that means. What is the ballpark?
Does it look like Petco Park?
I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. I would like to see, and I'm not sure which one there was at, but that's definitely new. So I think that these sort of planned communities, just looking at the site here and what they have planned for being built, they're hitting all of the notes that people seem to want to hear. They've got the tot lot. They've got 2 playgrounds for varying ages of kids. They've got pickleball, basketball. They've got they're doing like cooking demonstrations. There's like outdoor
the kitchen
area. This definitely seems just very very timely. Like this is
I feel like this is what
so many communities,
especially first-time home buyers that want like somewhat affordable. I mean, this is relatively affordable compared to a lot of North County San Diego. San Marcos is probably, besides San Marcos, Vista, Escondido are probably the most affordable spots in North County, unless you go to like Bonsall. But this is going to be a walkable community, so you can walk to this little downtown area of North City.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of people I think they've already overbuilt here. Some people have commented on our Instagram reel saying that it's already too much. There's
traffic,
over inventory, which is definitely not the case.
Yeah.
Granted, is there too many homes because it's getting congested? Sure. But having oversupply of inventory is not the case.
Yeah.
So.
But I know that a lot of times the concern is congestion with traffic when you're building this many homes, this large of a scope of a project is the traffic. And you're up there by the 78.
The 78, I will say, might be the most frustrating.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I'm like the 78.
It bottlenecks like multiple times throughout there.
Does.
So I understand having more housing there is going to be a pain in the butt for traffic there.
But I just find this whole community trend so interesting with all of these walkable, and it's like 2 restaurants and like all of the amenities that communities seem to.
I feel like it was supposed to be.
This
is what Three Roots was supposed to be kind of like. Three Roots did a really good job in their community center.
Yeah.
And the community itself, it's a good looking neighborhood, nice newer homes. But they were supposed to have like a little, not downtown, but like at least a handful of restaurants, with restaurants, coffee shops, just a couple places. And then I think the developer came in there and bought up the space that was supposed to be it. Granted, they might still do it, but they've definitely gotten a lot more quiet on the fact that it was supposed to be more of a, live, work, play type thing.
Yes, exactly. Which is sort of what they're pitching here on this one.
But the community center at Three Roots is one of the nicest community centers I've seen
very
in there. So
it's very,
that
very
is
nice.
one thing they got going for
true.
it. So
that's very true.
And they don't have any, like this one is going to be close to the Sprinter stop. They have that train that goes from along the 78 over there. So theoretically, you could
work.
You might not need 2 cars. Maybe there'll be less cars. Granted, everyone's probably going to have a car, but I don't know. I think this could actually be a nice community, and especially for the price points they're going to be. You could probably get townhomes for $700,000-800,000, which doesn't sound that cheap. But
someone compared, gonna come at you with the
Vice
wag
President
finger
of Shea will reach out again. And then single families will probably start around $1 million, maybe $1.1 million, give or take. So, and by San Diego standards, that's pretty good.
I mean, for 2,400 square feet, it's not awful for San Diego.
For sure. Okay.
So that's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, let me see what else I have here. We already talked about that one. And golf. If you're a big golfer, golf-related news here on San Diegoville, one of my favorite websites. The PGA Tour Genesis Invitational will be moving down to San Diego because of the fire situation up in Los Angeles. So we just had the Farmers Open at Torrey Pines. Yep. But now we'll have the Genesis Invitational, which I think Tiger Woods actually puts on.
Yes, so, it's Tiger Woods. I think it's got a $20 million purse, which is a pretty good. That's a pretty nice little chunk of money if you're the winner there.
It's all right.
And of course, we're just lucky we have someplace lovely like Torrey Pines that is of that caliber that we can just on the fly host a big, tournament like that.
For sure. And this will take place on February 10th to the 16th. So
I don't know what is the ticket sales like? I wonder, or is it? Are they? Do people already have tickets?
I think people probably already have tickets from there. But I imagine they might be relatively easier to get now if it's moving cities. Yeah. So if you're looking for tickets, bad place. Oh,
I mean that's cool.
Another thing I don't have an article on, but since we're talking about sports, is the San Diego Football Club starts in March here. So
that's our new
soccer team,
men's soccer team. Yes,
football club, whatever you want to call it.
Confuse everyone when you.
Say
so
football?
European. It's so European.
It's called the San Diego Football Club.
It is. But but then we call it soccer here.
So the home opener is in March. I think it's March 25th. Don't quote me on that, but it's definitely in March there. So I think I have tickets to the game too. So I will be at game 2.
Nice.
So that'll be fun.
Nice.
So if you're a football fan or a soccer fan, not Chargers. Chargers aren't coming back.
No,
not yet.
You have to clarify. You have to say it is soccer. Yeah.
Okay, this one we just did a reel on this recently on Instagram, and San Diego City Council just voted 8-1 to raise parking meters in San Diego City. Yeah. Downtown or Pacific, anywhere.
Double the prices.
Yeah, right? So I think they was at $1.25 originally. Most of them were $1.25. Now they're going to $2.50.
That is insane. That sounds like so much money. That sounds like so much
it's a lot of money to me. And I was researching this up in like Los Angeles area. They have expensive parking meters too, but they also do it by time of day. So if you go like on a Sunday morning, parking meters are like $1.
Yeah.
And then if you go peak hours on the weekends, they're
Right.
$3 or $4.
Right.
I would almost prefer that than
I
doing
would too.
$2.50 all the time.
Have a sliding scale there
yeah.
with the cost. Yeah.
Or maybe it's better instead of having like $5 parking, it's $2.50 all the time versus doing that. So if you live downtown or frequent downtown or any metro area of San Diego, be prepared for that because those start in February apparently. So
that's a little disappointing.
It is a little disappointing. I don't think anyone's too excited about that. They are doing it because there was a $252 million deficit in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just trying to find ways without like levying taxes to lay it out, which I guess is better than getting more tax. You can just pay more for parking or don't go downtown or metro areas.
That's true. Or don't drive.
Or don't
drive.
Get
dropped off. Don't park your vehicle there.
Yes, that could also work as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go down to like Petco Park, you're not parking at a parking meter.
No,
and you're paying $40-$50 for a parking spot.
So true.
So parking is just getting more expensive.
Petco is so expensive. No one can tell me that there's a better deal. Don't try to tell me because I'm not parking at like the old Horton Plaza or whatever.
And
is
then
that
walking
what it is? And then walking
2
like
miles or something.
I was gonna say 50 blocks, but yes, 2 miles is probably more accurate. I want to park close. Or
Well, if you want to park close, you're gonna have to pay.
I know, and I do. That's what I end up paying so much. I'm just like,
you know what I usually do if you go on.
Sometimes
If you go on like StubHub or SeatGeek, people are reselling their parking tickets.
I have done
and sometimes you get it for like $25-$30 on there if you get it at the right time. So
I just don't understand how they proposed a huge venue like that without some baked in parking. They have no parking of their own. It's all just little piecemeal parking lots.
I guess they just didn't own the land there, I guess.
But. And and you put a stadium in the middle of like a city, which I understand, but oh my God, the parking. Yeah.
Yes, we love to talk about parking.
I've got to get off that topic. Yeah.
Okay, so we just talked about that one. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about real estate for a second because we are. We did.
We were just talking about San Marcos. That's real estate.
That is real estate related. So San Diego is falling behind other cities in home price gains. For the last few years, San Diego has been like 1 or 2 as far as home price gains.
Yeah.
And I think last year we went up in 2024. We're in 2025, correct?
We are. That's right.
It went up 4.5%, I think, which is like kind of like a normal appreciation. Mm-hmm. Which after these last 5 years or so, I think San Diego's due for like a normal price appreciation, not these like 10 to 20% increases we've seen over the past years.
Right.
Interest rates are not going down as quickly as people were hoping they'd go.
Surprise.
Yes. So they're mostly hovering around 6.5% to 7% at the moment, I think.
Yeah.
And I thought, a lot of people have thought by this time we'd be at least in the 5s. Mm-hmm. So we actually hit 5. I think I was hearing clients getting 5.75% in October of last year, but then the Fed decided not to lower rates and they just shot back up. Mm-hmm. So I think they're talking about rates potentially go down 1, maybe 2 times this year, but not dramatically. So just be prepared for higher interest rates for the foreseeable future, unfortunately, which I think will actually keep home prices relatively in check. I don't think they're going to drop. Maybe a few towns. I did a video on like what towns have gone up and down this year. There was actually, I think, 4 or 5 towns that actually went down.
That had gone down, yeah.
I think it was Ocean Beach, Rancho Santa Fe, but that's like kind of an outlier.
Yes, that is.
And then I forget what the other ones. Normal Heights went down like less than 1%.
Yeah.
So you might see a few neighborhoods go down this year, but I think overall you're probably going to see similar appreciation that we saw last year, maybe 3 to 5% range, give or take. So if you're looking to buy this year, I don't think you're going to see as many bidding wars as we've seen over the last few, 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. But I just had put an offer for somebody else recently, and there were still 3 other offers on the property. So the good houses will sell quickly with multiple offers. But if you're willing to find houses that need a little bit of work, sometimes you might be able to get a little bit of a deal on them. So just keep an eye out for that.
That's not for everyone, though. It's not for the faint of heart. Sometimes.
No, it is not. So I think San Diego ranked number, I think it was 8. What was it here? San Diego Metro, which includes all of San Diego, fell to 9th in the index. Its lowest showing in 15 months.
Yeah.
So the region had a highest or second highest price gains for 11 months in the closely watched index for the 2023 and 2024 years. Mm-hmm. The national home price rose 3.75%, so we still outpaced the national average, but not quite as high as we used to be.
Right.
So thought that was interesting, and we'll always keep you posted what we're seeing out in the market here because you can always read these things. A lot of these things are like information from like 3 months ago. Mm-hmm. So when we're out showing homes and putting offers, we'll definitely
let you know.
Spread the word for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, so this is interesting. The airport. Yeah. So if you are unaware, we actually did a reel on this recently too. The McClellan, what is the airport called?
Palomar,
McClellan. The Carlsbad Airport, I call it, is just approved to have American Airlines fly out of there, only to Phoenix at the moment.
Yes.
But which actually a lot of people were super excited about because they have another option to go to the airport, especially if you live in North County, San Diego. Exactly. It can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to get to the airport.
Right. And you think about you're only going to Phoenix. I don't need to go through all the rigmarole of the huge San Diego International Airport. It's not the hugest airport. But, I mean, if you're only going to Phoenix, let me just hop on the
I think people are happy that they're going somewhere, but Phoenix might be, at least Phoenix is a big connecting hub. So if you go to Phoenix, you can go somewhere else from there and still only have to go to Carlsbad Airport, which is pretty good. Because you were just looking it up, right?
I was, that's what I was looking at what you could do. I mean, just from there to Phoenix, it was, reasonably priced.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the actual airport looks like. Do you?
I have driven by it, but
I've never been.
Oh no, I have been there one time, but it was like a.
Is it even like a
I went
terminal,
on a propeller plane one time
nice.
or something, which is kind of scary.
Does it even really have like a terminal?
It did have a terminal, but this was like
years
7 years ago, so I barely remember it. But it has a terminal. I think they have like a little lobby sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super easy though.
Yeah.
It's like if you ever been to not even like the Burbank Airport up in LA. It's not even that big. It's probably a quarter of the size of that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, so the issue is that the county is
someone's suing
the county for allowing American Airlines to even operate out of
Citizens for a Friendly Airport sue San Diego County over American Airlines new Palomar flights alleging environmental law violations. So I know when I posted this, people were pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
I think the people that are not excited about it are people that are in the flight path of this airport, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Granted, this isn't like a full-sized, I don't know all the sizes of airplanes, like 747. This is like a much smaller airplane.
I mean, do you still call them like puddle jumpers?
I don't.
Like the little, like the smaller planes that would just make a quick trip, like Carlsbad to Phoenix.
It's not as big a plane as that. So, but it is probably bigger than what those little like 4-person.
Like planes. What you got in to go on your.
Yes, like that one.
Yeah.
Which didn't have like a toilet on it, so
no.
It did. You like lift up the seat or something.
Oh no,
it was very weird.
No.
For all you pilots out there, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So I don't know if you guys are excited about the airport in Carlsbad. I don't live in the flight path, so.
So you're okay with it? Yeah.
But if I did live in the flight path, I'm pretty sure that would be a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we got here? We're trying to keep these things about 30 minutes every week, and if we have questions and stuff, we'll definitely make it longer if needed. But that's kind of what our goal for the time being. So we're almost at our number here.
I think 30 minutes because it's freasing in our office sometimes.
I know, that's why we're all bundled up in here.
If we run the heat, it's too
loud.
Our
heater broke in the office, although it's now it's working. So.
Okay, well, the heat in the AC is also kind of loud when you're trying to film, so it's just very chilly.
We have two questions here before we sign off for the day here. So let me get out of this. Okay, can we back out if the seller fails to fix the repairs in the current market? How willing is seller to fix the issues? I would say, so what happens when you put an offer in, you get accepted, then you go through your inspection report, and then you ask them to fix things or give you credit. They can say yes or no. Mm-hmm. And if they say no, you can back out and get your deposit back. But if they say yes, and I guess if they say yes and still don't fix it, then you'd have to talk to a real estate attorney about that. Yeah. But likely you'd be able to get out of that fact too. And as far as people fixing things or giving you credit to fix things, I would say this market is probably pretty good for that right now, as long as it's reasonable. If you're just asking things just to ask for things, you have
to clarify that.
Then, and if it's like small things, I always look for things that are structurally wrong or one of the main systems, like there's something wrong with the plumbing, electrical, roof, foundation, that sort of thing.
Those are big ones.
If you're asking for like, the screen door has got a hole in it or something like that, most sellers will not respond super highly to that because you're not buying a brand new home. So just keep that in mind when you're doing it.
There's going to be some wear and tear, like stuff like that.
Exactly. Right? So if it's a reasonable thing, like the water heater is completely not working or there's like a plumbing leak or there's an actual thing wrong with the roof, most sellers are pretty reasonable when it goes to that part. Or if there's termite damage, a lot of times they are okay paying for stuff like that.
Air conditioning units are
air conditioning.
That can be a tough one too, though, because it's difficult to know. I know a lot of people say, well, but it's about to die. It's almost it's at
20
the
years
end.
old.
It's 20 years old. It's at the end of its life, but the seller might say, it still works though.
Yes.
And it's really hard to get you can't get a date on when the AC is going to die.
You just never know. It could die that year. Usually what the seller will do is give you a home warranty, not always, but sometimes for the first year. So if that heater or air conditioning does go out, it would be repaired in that situation. So it's not a perfect, because it's likely in the next 5 years it's probably going to break.
Right.
But just knowing that you have that home warranty, at least for the first year, can help. Sometimes they'll give you they'll give you like a partial credit, like we'll give you $1,000, but we're not buying you a whole new AC unit, which I completely understand.
I do too.
But I can see it from the buyer's point of view. I was like, well, we don't buy a house and the AC breaks the first day we're there. So at least that home warranty will help you for that first year. Yeah. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay, what else we got here? Which estimate is generally accurate, Redfin or Zillow? I would say neither. Well, I would say sometimes they're accurate and sometimes they're not. But the problem is Zillow and Redfin don't know what the condition of the home is. Like they just go off the zip code and like an algorithm. Yeah. So when it last sold compared to now, they don't know if the kitchen's been updated or the bathroom's been updated
or if the house is a total it's been used to.
Because there's a house in our neighborhood that was listed for 1.425, but it was in there was like 4 kitchens in it. It was in really, really bad shape.
Yes.
And Redfin said it was worth $1.9 million.
No way.
But
there is.
I don't know what it sold. I don't think it's closed yet, but it probably sold, even in the condition it's in, probably sold for like 1.6 or 1.7.
I'd be interested to know how much.
But it was like a completely gut job. So they can get you in the ballpark, area of where it's sold. Like if it's 1.9, one says 1.9, one says 1.95, it could be worth $2 million or it could be worth 1.8. So the best way to do it is just look at the comps and just compare it there, or talk to a real estate agent that knows the area really well. Yeah. Because one house that has a canyon view versus one that doesn't have a canyon view or whatever it is, because San Diego is so hilly and there's a lot of things that go into it. If I had to say if one's closer than the other, I would probably say Redfin's is probably slightly closer.
You think?
But one thing I always like to bring up, when Zillow, the CEO of Zillow, sold his house, it was like $10 million off his estimate.
Wow, really?
So I always thought that was funny. So just know algorithms, they're good to give you a ballpark, but it's hard to get close.
Just a starting off point, a jumping off point, but don't use it as like the be all end all sort of pricing.
So hopefully that helps a little bit. Yeah. RP versus RB versus Carmel Mountain. Ooh. Good question.
I mean, that's
just
tough
to
though,
live.
because
It depends on your situation.
Yeah, I'd say there's quite a few different factors if you're looking at pricing. I mean, I think Carmel Mountain can be a little bit more expensive than Rancho Penasquitos, depending on.
Not necessarily. I would say
I'd say there's some depending.
You get bigger lots in Rancho Penasquitos versus Carmel Mountain Ranch. RB and RP.
Oh, Carmel Mountain. Sorry, I was thinking Carmel Valley.
Oh,
Guys, we got too many Carmels around here. I was thinking Carmel Valley. No, Carmel Mountain Ranch. Yes. Okay, I'd say those are all.
I'd say Rancho Bernardo and Rancho Penasquitos are pretty similar. Yes. Carmel Mountain's kind of its own thing. They have smaller lots, kind of smaller houses. They don't really have houses over like 3,000. I think 3,000 or less. Really, Carmel Mountain. But you're a lot closer to like the shopping. There's a lot of shopping in Carmel Mountain.
But it depends on where you are in RB too. I mean, RB, you can be right on the border there and still have access. You're right there by Costco. You're by the high school. I mean, I will say that if schools are in your, if you're looking at that, I'd say the schools are good in all of those areas.
Yeah, so it's all the same school district. So they'll vary slightly by 1 point if you go off the great schools rating. But
as far as amenities and shopping, and I mean, parts of Rancho Bernardo, you get baked in with your home purchase. You get memberships to like
the Westwood Club,
or the Rancho Bernardo tennis and swim club, which is really nice. That I would say Carmel Mountain doesn't really offer.
Yeah, and Rancho Penasquitos doesn't really.
No, they don't have anything like that. So RB has some amenities there that are nice. There's some golf courses over in RB. I don't know how old you are or what kind of
or
stuff
you have kids or no kids or what.
Exactly, but there are some differences between those three communities. I would say. Price points are similar. RP, and RB. Carmel Mountain Ranch is probably a little bit less expensive. Yeah, if that makes a difference to you. What else is a big difference? RB has a lot of like 55 and up communities. If you have Penasquitos has one now too. Yes, they do. I would still say the prices are a little lower in the 55 and up RV communities.
They are.
Because in PQ, it's like a brand
new one.
community.
Rancho Penasquitos, you're closer to the beach, so that's a big difference for you.
Maybe like 12 minutes.
We're right off Camino del Sur. That's where our office is, so
it's easy to hop on the 56.
You can be at the beach in like 12 to 15 minutes from Rancho Bernardo. It's like 20 to 25, probably.
Yes, that's such a Southern California thing too, Tim. We're not even giving you mileage.
I don't know
the mileage. It's 12 to 15 minutes. We're using time instead of.
But if you want more detailed information, feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
Okay. This one of my repair issues, condenser is too loud. I would not give a credit for a condenser that is too loud, but that is me personally.
So it still works.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just they said the inspector said it was too loud, or the people buying it think it's too loud. And it really depends. Is the condenser right next to the living room or a bedroom or something like that?
Right.
I get that, but if it works, is it still blowing cold air? I think that's the more. It's probably an older unit that they are louder. The newer ones are quieter.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
That's a tough one in my opinion. So.
Yeah.
Are you doing a live every week? If so, what time? Yes. So we talked about this at the beginning, but no one was tuned in until recently. Okay. So we're going to try to do this every day, every Wednesday at 12 o'clock.
Lord, not every day.
Yeah. Every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Pacific time. If people find another time that's better, we will try to accommodate. But I think as of right now, we can accommodate 12 o'clock on Wednesdays.
Yes.
Just because middle of the week's a little bit easier, and we can attempt to do it later in the day when more people are off work. But for us, it's easier for us to do it now. So, so tune in every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern, if you're interested.
Yeah.
Will Apple Campus of RB bump up the prices even more? I mean, the Apple Campus has been there for a few years now, so the bump has kind of already happened.
Yeah.
I was just showing another person from Apple Homes yesterday. So there's still more people coming. So theoretically, yes, it could bump up prices a little bit more. I do find a lot of the people for Apple have been moving to like 4S Ranch, Del Sur, which is right next to Rancho Bernardo, Carmel Valley, Torrey House, Rancho Penasquitos, and RB.
Yeah.
So this whole corridor, it's not just Rancho Bernardo just because it's there.
Yeah.
All these areas are close enough that most people.
And I would mention too, just the growth of Apple there is not. There are so many other like tech and biotech and medical campuses there. I mean, yes, Apple that's a big one and a big name, but there's lots of other employers there that
HP,
bring in
Sony's over there.
Exactly.
And I always think the 56 is kind of the core, the tech core. I make this up. I'm not sure if anybody else calls it this. The tech corridor of San Diego, because you have over in Sorrento Valley and UTC, you have Google, and Apple has an office over there too, and then a few other places. We got Qualcomm obviously over there, and then over in Rancho Bernardo, you have like HP, Sony, and Apple again.
Right.
So, and then the 56 corridor is right in between all of this. So, and Scripps Ranch down there too.
Yeah.
So I think the whole area has got a big bump because of all these things.
Yeah.
Are they going to go up more? Probably. I wouldn't say there's going to be like a huge bump though.
Right.
Unless
because
they
it's been kind of steady. I mean, a lot of those companies have been here for a while. They're established.
And they're moving people down slowly, not all at one time. If they moved everybody down like 5,000 people at one time, probably would be a pretty big boom. But they're kind of spreading it out over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I could tell. So
I agree.
Okay, a couple of more questions. Oh, my mouse isn't working. Okay. Hi, Bert and Courtney. Surprised to catch your live show. Any idea of recent LA fires and insurance? So I did a whole video on home insurance recently. So, most of North County, San Diego, is in a high risk fire zone. Right. So this is probably a longer conversation. This could be probably a whole episode.
Could be a whole video on it.
So you can get most people that get insurance now in North County, San Diego, especially if you're near like canyons or brush, like we are, you're gonna have to get the California Fair Plan. The California Fair Plan will pretty much use all its funds in this latest fire up in the LA, in the Palisades area. But so what would happen is if they do run out of funds, the contingency plan is to assess every other insurance holder in California. Like I've heard it from like $500 to like $2,000 for the year. So if they just charge that, I'm hoping is the worst case scenario is they just
charge everybody.
Everybody that has it, because it's all the insurance companies together is who pay into the fair plan. And then they use all those funds to pay out claims like that. And the one in the Palisades alone could be like $1 billion or something like that. So they will not have enough funds to cover it, but they do have contingency plans in place. I do hope that this is kind of a wake up call for California, for insurance companies to like plan for insurance and be able to charge more based on the risk of the home. Before, they could only raise it so much,
right.
which is why a lot of these insurance companies backed out. So I'm hoping this is the one thing that will finally kickstart them into redoing the way they do insurances. And
it's not a perfect process, for sure.
So, and they previously were not allowed to use future forecasting to project pricing, but now they are. So hopefully that will bring more people into it. But after these latest fires, I don't know. Well, it's a moving target at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. But I know people can still get insurance in San Diego as of now.
Still get it. Doesn't mean it's not very pricey.
Yes,
but
exactly.
You can still get coverage. Oh,
and Linda,
happy Chinese New Year. Thank you.
Today, right?
And to you too.
Okay, so like I said, I want to bring up one other last thing here. Because if you were new, here we go. One more question. Sorry. My insurance and taxes have gone up $700 a month in Orlando since 2017. Taxes are $4,000 a year now.
Oh, because of the hurricanes. Yeah, I think Florida's kind of in the same-ish situation. Obviously, you guys have different natural disasters, but I know that there's been huge bumps
Florida's
in your
been.
insurance.
My brother lives in Tampa, and he has had the same issue. I'm curious, what is the cost of a house there to get for a $4,000 insurance? So I'm curious what that looks like, because here, like insurance, from people that buy like a $1.5 to $2 million house, their insurance is usually around $4,000 to $5,000 here. Which if you're getting $4,000 in, I don't know what the price is there, but Orlando, I would assume it's a little bit less than it is.
$750,000.
So so a $1.5 million house here to $2 million is equivalent to the same insurance as you get in Orlando.
Wow.
So it actually sounds the one thing that's actually cheaper.
Maybe, possibly. I'm sure that's case by case.
2,800 square foot. It's all about the rebuild cost of the house, usually for the most part with fires. So new build versus, he said, $750,000, 2,800 square feet, and new build versus pre-2000s build for the first time home buyer. Oh, sorry, new person. New build versus pre-2000s build for the first time home buyer. I really think it just depends on what you can afford. I think the floor plans changed dramatically after 2000 versus pre-2000, because I've seen like homes in Park Village versus homes in Torrey Highlands. I personally like the floor plans better in the 2000 plus homes versus the older homes, but everybody has their own personal preference. And I wouldn't say you're getting a better deal on homes by being older homes versus newer homes.
A lot of the older homes have been very, I hate to use the word flipped, but there's some very nice renovations that have been done, I would say. So I wouldn't discount an older home just because you don't know what kind of there've been some really amazing upgrades and updates, and they've even been able to remove walls, or I know you're thinking of like the older homes having the
like a little wonky, the staircases
open.
In the middle of the house.
Yeah,
kind of thing,
sure. People have gotten creative with renovations and even moving staircases or knocking down pony walls, the little, the half walls. And and
if you are buying like flip homes, I know we've probably talked about this before, but a lot of the flippers here do not get pull permits, which isn't necessarily always a bad thing, but just make sure if they're knocking down walls and stuff that they did do permits. And I know a lot of flippers will not do that. So.
But it should say fully permitted or
not. And I would say from my experience, the flippers, at least over in North County, have typically not pulled permits. Which permits be what as they may. Yeah. They are there for somewhat of a reason. Some things if you're remodeling a kitchen, do you really need a permit for it? The answer I'm supposed to say is yes.
Yes. That's what you're supposed to say.
Yes. Okay. So, one other thing I meant, insurance is $4,000 a year. Yes. That's what it is here. So $4,000 a year for insurance here, not per month. If I said that, sorry.
No. Yeah, 4 or 5 a year on a maybe 3,000 square foot house.
Okay, I just wanted to show one more thing. So we talked about this at the beginning, but if you were not here in the beginning, so we have a new Instagram on Instagram channel on Instagram it's called North County _SD. So where this is stuff that's going on in San Diego, we post like 5 or 6 videos per week. Just anything related to real estate, new restaurants, developments, coffee shops, hidden gems. We also like to talk about. So if you guys do not follow us on there, please do, because we will post videos there like 5 or 6 times a week. And they're kind of fun. And it's like sometimes we don't get a full YouTube video out every week, but we will be doing Instagram quite a bit. So if you want to follow along with us, please feel free. If there's anything else you'd like us to cover whether it's new neighborhoods or there's neighborhood we haven't done. We've almost done every neighborhood in San Diego County. There's a few in the metro area that I still have not covered, so we will get to those soon. But we will try to do this every single week. So tune in Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, and we'll catch you guys next time.
That's right.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.